What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't have? Our girls aren't allowed to wear yoga pants outside this house. What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't have?
You wake them, you take them. I said that comment one day when we'd just had our twins and they were down for their naps. The boys was being just a little bit extra loud, and I told them that. I was like, you wake them, you take them. Obviously, they didn't want to stop playing their video games to take care of some babies, so it was amazing how quiet they got. It worked so well, I started using it on everyone. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. The twins just turned 3 and it's still a thing.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't have?
Don't worry, I already have the stakes I'm going to be burned on for this one, okay? So just hold on a second. Homework was always optional in my house. School to a kid is their full-time job, and their kids in learning and growing and developing. The last thing I want to teach my developing child is that he has to bring work home with him and work and have 2 hours of play a night. My son has graduated high school at this point. Are there consequences to not doing your homework? Yeah. Do I care if my son was a C student? Nope. Do I care that he knows how to set boundaries with people and things that demand his time and his attention and balance his life and balance the fun and the work? Yeah. I have pretty strong opinions on college too, so there'll be another video after this.
One rule you have as a parent that most parents don't have.
So we have an economy in our house, right? So everybody contributes to the house, and I have 2 boys, and both of them have a chore chart that they have to do. Now, for every chore that they do, they get 1 Boudreaux book, which is our in-house currency, right? It's just like fake money. Anyway, so like at the end of the week, they get a paycheck, and half of their paycheck has to go into their bank, and then the other half of their paycheck goes into their wallet. So they can spend their money from their wallet however they please. Usually it's to buy snacks, and snacks cost, different amounts depending on what the snack is. And they can either choose to spend their money on snacks or save it, because on their birthday and on Christmas, they then trade their Boudreaux bucks in for real money with an extremely high exchange rate. And then they can get real money and spend it on stuff that they want. So in our house, the rule is that you can't get a snack for free. So that's our economy lesson.
Our girls aren't allowed to wear yoga pants outside this house.
I let my girls wear what they want to out of the house, because if they go missing, I want to know what they were wearing when they went missing, not when they left the house.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
Let me stretch. Get ready for all the angry Gen Zers that are about to comment. No sleepovers. As a person who used to have a friend whose father would invite me to sleep over before my friend actually did, sleepovers aren't necessary. You can be a completely normal, well-adjusted child without sleeping at somebody else's house. And you know what? If I also kind of save you from some sort of sexual predator as well, bonus.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
I don't know if I can really say that it's a rule, but in my house it's a rule. My kids are allowed to exercise their right to freedom of speech. Living in a black household, you couldn't tell your mama if she was wrong. You couldn't tell your mama when she made you feel some type of way. But in my house, my kids would tell me if I'm wrong. In my house, my kids would tell me if I hurt their feelings, and I apologize to my children. I know that parents fuck up. My mama fucked up a lot. And I wasn't allowed to tell my mama that she fucked up until I became an adult. And another thing that I allow my kids to do is I allow my kids to curse. My kids are allowed to say whatever the fuck they want to say in my house. But outside of my house, my kids have to live by society standards, meaning they can't do the things in my house that they do in my house outside. But they know how to adjust to it. They can adapt to it. They're fine with it. they're happy.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
To challenge authority, and I don't care who it is. See, when you teach your children to respect authority but don't teach them to set their boundaries, you leave the door open to a lot of bullshit that I'm not about to have at all. So be it teacher, be it adult, it doesn't matter. If you are not comfortable speaking to someone, if you are not comfortable hugging someone, I'm not about to make them. And I'm damn sure not about to make them lower themselves to an adult that does not respect them. A lot of people may not like it. They may say, oh, well, that's not how I was raised. That's how you were raised. It's not how I'm raising my children. I'm raising my children to stand up for themselves regardless. I don't care who it is. Because a lot of us were taught to respect authority, and those same people took advantage of that authority. I'm not having it anymore. We will break the cycle.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
Okay, last one. I'm going to shut up after this. I need to be clear, this was not a rule, as when this took place, my son was an adult. My recommendation was that my son did not rush into college when he got out of high school. I encouraged him to take time off and figure out what he wants to do. Rushing to college out of high school when you're 17 and 18 years old is not always the right decision, and it's not for everybody. If your kid has a shred of talent, a passion in something, I encouraged mine to follow that immediately or when he was ready. Not everyone is made to work 9 to 5 every day of their life until they retire to have 5 years left to enjoy until they die, or however long they have, I don't know. Chasing your dreams first was always my recommendation. If that includes college, fine. If it doesn't, fine. But take the time you...
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
I was going to wait until I did my hair and makeup so I would look super cute when I make this TikTok. In the true spirit of parenting, parenting is not perfect, nor is my appearance. So for those of you who are going to use that as a deciding factor on whether or not you're going to continue watching, I'm sorry. So we have this thing. I don't know if it's necessarily a rule, but it's a thing. And I have recently learned that apparently we're like the only people we know that do it. It's called the Safe Talk. At any given point, our children can come up to us and say, Mom, Dad, I need to have a safe talk. When that happens, it completely disarms my husband and myself so that we can put our feelings on a shelf and focus on our child and their feelings and their needs at that moment. You think I'm mean? You think I'm doing a bad job? You didn't like dinner? I embarrassed you in front of your friends? It's cool. You can tell us right there, and you won't get in trouble, as long as you're respectful. We do it so we can validate our kids' feelings and they can communicate better, because we never got that chance.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
So we have a 12-year-old. He comes up to me, says, I want an allowance. We provide him a very good life. But he gives me his reasons why he wants an allowance. We agree to a set price and job titles. So now it's like an employee. So in our house, he gets taxes taken from his allowance. So hold on. His taxes really just go into a savings for him. So just like you file at the end of the year with the IRS, and sometimes you get money, sometimes you don't, he's pretty much guaranteed he's going to get his money back. But we started doing this to give him adult situations on a much smaller scale so that when we send him out into the world, he's a little bit more prepared. So if he doesn't do part of his job, he does not get paid for that part. So we're trying to instill work ethic in him, along with just not trying to, raise a crazy person or a liberal. But that's our one thing. Taxes are taken out of our allowance.
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
Don't be a snitch. What? Jolene, what do snitches get?
Stitches.
Joseph, where do snitches end up?
Ditches.
Ditches. Gracie, what do snitches get?
Stitches.
Josiah, snitches get stitches and end up in ditches because they are...
What's one rule you have as a parent that most parents don't?
All right, some won't agree with this, but if your kid puts hands on my kid first,
My kid has 100% free range to rock your kid's shit.